So Brian is out today.
Oh,
Unfortunately, sad event. He has to attend a funeral.
oh
And
no.
but yeah, I don't know if Billy and CL will be coming back or if it's just going to be Billy. But she is um, off maternity leave and getting ready to go back to work. And Billy was saying that probably sometime soon in the next couple of weeks that he will be. I gave him the link, or gave him the server information, and so he's in the process of making characters. So
All right.
that should be coming in the next couple of weeks. So
He's
Well, we
getting
should be fine.
tired.
I know, right?
I barely remember like how I got through that like first 6 month period. That was some of the hardest stuff I ever did. So I hope he hangs in there.
Yeah, yeah. I had he sent me a baby announcement with pictures and stuff, and I
He
had
got a
commented, I'm
cute
like, oh,
baby.
that baby is so cute,
Yeah.
and he looks like a very happy boy, and he said something about, well, he has his moments. Like, okay, so Billy's a little tired, but yeah,
Yeah.
so so yeah, so it'll be just you guys
All
today,
right.
and
We'll be
Oh,
all right.
cool.
we
Four
will.
characters. We can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's one of the benefits of everybody having two characters that um, oh, that's not what I wanted. Is that you can still get through. Um, it's so funny too because this is the other thing about 5e, and I don't know if I didn't really play much of 4e because I couldn't even get through half of the player's handbook. I was like, this is complete bullshit. What game is this? This isn't D&D. And so I threw it in the corner of my room. But um, with 5th edition, they really have pushed, and this is even in in the monster manual, it's set up this way that the party is four characters, four players, and that from going with the history that I've got with D&D, that's a that's a little bit of a small party. I mean, the sweet spot has always been six, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, everybody knew, well, you can play with three players, you know. Two can be kind of rough, but if you've got three players, um, especially if everybody's playing two characters, generally I just like uh, more than one character per player because um, it just it takes away some personality from those characters. That makes sense. Like they're not so much. Um, I don't know. I mean,
Well,
Cameron does a pretty good job of Mavis and Alora being, acting in two different. That you can clearly determine that they are two different people. Um, and you do a pretty good job, mostly because I think Borman and Malachi are really very different characters.
oh fuck yeah, they are.
But generally, when you get into combat and whatnot, it turns into this slog where basically they're all, you can tell that they're all played by the same person. So I don't know. I always liked focusing on one character at a time, and maybe if Billy and or CL joins, we might be able to get an opportunity to go back to um, focusing on one character. I really like what Cameron has done with Mavis. I mean, Alora's a good character too, but I really like what Cameron's done with Mavis. There's been a lot of role play opportunity, and really with Mavis, a lot of world building. Um,
Well, we've
Well,
done
thank
a lot
you.
of main character would be Mavis, Borman,
yes,
and Gentry, whereas Alora and Malachi and Samuel, they're just kind of
They're like
secondary characters. I mean,
they're like the kids who hung out in the back row at
Yeah,
school. You know what I mean?
they're the
Yeah.
B team.
Yeah. They're
they're,
cool.
they're yeah.
well,
No, I mean it's a possibility that they might get benched at some point.
sure.
So that we can focus on main characters, and it's always good, to have a second character, you know, in a folder somewhere,
Yeah.
because
You never
as you
know.
guys have found out that death can happen quite suddenly.
And it's all good to have backup characters for when we need to beef the party up for lack of players.
Well,
True.
yeah, that too, and there's also so as an example, like you wanted some downtime for Malachi to create a spell.
Hmm.
So technically speaking, that's usually going to take a while. And so there's a lot of cases, and you see this in first edition AD&D, where you know that character is now busy doing his thing to create that spell, and so the player would then bring in a second character.
Okay.
So that kind of thing goes on. So, anyways, welcome to Braunhaven. We're going to pick up where we left off last week. These guys are up in the Skellis Mountains, traveling along the eastern tradeway through the mountains towards the capital city, or the dwarven capital city of Zlatoheim. And the reason why they are going there is that they are on the hunt for the second key that is supposedly rumored to unlock the extra dimensional uh, prison of the Archmage Maximilian Tacidantilus. And um, the last known location of of the looped scepter was known to have been in Zlatoheim, but it was many years ago. There, like hundreds of years ago, and um, a lot of things happened. So they're hoping that they can get some information on where this thing might be. Before we get started, we would like to thank one of the friends of the Greenwater Guildhall. None of these are sponsorships or partnerships of any kind. They're just products that we really like. And today, we would like to thank Boston Scally Company. Boston Scally makes scally caps, wonderful hats, um, in a plethora of patterns and fabrics and colors and whatnot. They're starting to come back to their fall line, so they're going to be mostly a wool blend, but they do have cotton poly blends that are lighter for late spring and summer. Um, and they have, I think they have a sale going on right now, but they have brought back like the original Boston Scally, and they've got the Brawler, and there's a couple of other hats. They actually sent me one that, because I know Cameron has a Scally cap, and I've seen her wear a couple times, and they have one that I looked at it and I'm like, Cameron would probably like that. It's called the Violet Rose, and so
Oh,
it's like a black charcoal gray and like violet purple um, plaid pattern. It's a really
that
smart
sounds
looking
cool.
cap. It's very similar to my Sunday cap. But anyways, so yeah, go to bostonscally.com. Check out their selection of hats and get yourself a new hat. The Zazzle store is still going. We have a number of items on there that all of the proceeds from that store go directly into the channel to help cover costs of like subscriptions and bandwidth and map assets.
Mm.
All that stuff adds up. So everything that's sold from that store goes directly back into the channel, and we have T-shirts, including the Pirates of Drynex pirate flag shirt made by Cameron. There is a button with that pattern as well, and we've got a beer stein, and a blanket, and so there's a ton of stuff on there. So go check them out, and if you want to help out the channel, pick yourself up a T-shirt and a button, and we appreciate you. So you guys went up into the mountains. Your first goal on the way up was to follow a treasure map that you had picked up previously, and you found the treasure. It wasn't gold and jewels, but it was mostly potions and spell scrolls, which those always come in handy. And your guide that you had hired. All right, here I am unprepared. What was his name? His name was
I don't remember.
Skopti. He's a 9 foot tall Stygian. Stygians are generally, what is thought of as Stygians are generally a race called Gargantua, and they otherwise thought of as half giants. And so Skopti's quite the tall individual. He recommended that since it was getting to be later in the day, sunset, he recommended that you stay at or seek refuge at the Abbey of the Order of the Martyr, which is convenient because Cameron's Mavis is a member of the order. And so you guys have been welcomed in, and the clerics, acolytes, and paladins of the order are, you know, kind of mobbing Mavis and wanting to hear about her adventures. The um, the patriarch of the order is really, really old, and he, Patriarch Gifford, wanted to make sure. So, what was the other cleric's name?
Cassandra.
Cassandra. That's it. Yeah, Cassandra died. She kicked it pretty early on. Um, and when they were still down in the catacombs beneath the town of Braunhaven. And so, um, so Patriarch Gifford wanted to make sure that 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 Mavis had followed really the tradition of the order is that they inter not necessarily the entire corpse, but they have a ossuary upstairs called the Ossuary of the Faithful, and a part of their those who go out on a mission or quest or whatever you want to call it. Part of them is interred in the ossuary, and they have like a um, uh, porcelain face that they craft and put over the wall tomb. And so he wanted to make sure that Mavis had brought back. I think she brought back like a couple of fingers or something off the corpse, or some ashes would do as well. Probably the ashes probably smell better.
I brought some hair.
Or yeah, that's right, a lock of hair. Yeah, that works too. And so, um, the of course the rest of these young acolytes and clerics are the acolytes especially are really interested in getting to know um, Borman and Malachi. I don't know if they're so interested in getting to know Malachi, but they are very interested to know about the adventures of the other party members as well. And I mean, the paladins, they pat you on the back and I don't know. I always imagine paladins that well, even paladins that are out with adventuring parties, at least initially, they are always like very Chad. Like these guys spend way too much time in the gym, and they don't really care about your gossip, but they'll pat you on the back and ask you how much you can lift. Those kinds of guys are the paladins. But the clerics and the acolytes, they are very interested. If you were not aware of what the difference between an acolyte and a cleric is, there is actually an acolyte class. And acolytes don't cast spells like clerics do, but they do get some um, innate healing abilities. For instance, they get like the lay on hands of paladins. but they can't cast spells. I don't. I don't. I'd have to look at it, but I don't think they can turn on. They might be able to turn undead. I'm not sure, but anyways, so that they're kind of a. I don't want to say a low level because that's not true either. Kind of an off cleric, or like a sorcerer type cleric. There's a similar class for magic users called the mage. They don't really cast spells; they just have abilities um, that they just get. Um, so they're kind of mobbing you guys. The paladins are continuing to eat their food and look on. And part of the gossip that you're hearing is that you know, and of course Mavis kind of knew that this was in the works when she left. Is that Patriarch Gifford is 78 years old, which in Braunhaven 78 is Methuselah. That I mean, he is way up there. And of course, they have to plan for when Patriarch Gifford um, finally goes to the great ossuary in the sky. And so there is talk amongst them, and just like he is the patriarch, there is of course a matriarch. And the hierarchy of the order of the martyr is that the matriarch is kind of like a vice president, second in command, whatever you want to call it, and that is Gilda Wobblespell, and she is a gnome, um, who of 137 years old. So she's not exactly young herself, but for a gnome at 137, I would say that for a gnome that's probably middle aged. And she she of course is under the assumption that she will automatically, basically when the patriarch dies, the rest of the order takes kind of a vote amongst all the members that are present and decides who the new patriarch or matriarch is going to be. Um, Matriarch Wobblespell is she assumes that it's automatically going to be her. And but that's not strictly true because it is known among the and this is something that Mavis would know, and you guys, the rest of the party, is picking up that Matriarch Wobblespell is very, very strict in her piety, and she's really not very popular among the upper echelons of the rest of the order, and she's really not that popular with the younger members. But things like no fraternization between the males and females of the order. There is no order or no mandate that cleric. You can get married. There's nothing to stop people. Um, you know, but she's like no fraternization, and you must maintain your virtue and no drinking, and it's really rather bizarre of what she requires, and so she is not necessarily as popular as one might think. But Patriarch Gifford is a really nice old man. He's down here drinking wine and shooting the breeze with the rest of you. What would you guys like to do? It of course is getting to be later in the evening by this point.
Um, Maybe I should check out the. You said ossuary?
Yes. So the ossuary, definitely, and I know Malachi was very
Yeah,
interested
I
in
am that.
in all things dead.
Well, yeah, I mean, if I could steal a piece of, uh, you know, okay, this Dantalus, right?
Tassadantalus, yes.
Yeah. Uh, how long ago was his thing happening? Was that 300 years?
He has been missing. He's been missing probably close to 500 years.
Wow.
500 years. Does this ossuary have anybody dating back that far?
Uh, mm, yeah, it might.
Oh,
If
it's
they
worth checking out.
I think that they would probably have something as far back as like at least 300 years. And the reason I say that is that so the Order of the Martyr has existed longer than they have been in the Abbey. The Abbey was already here, and oh, this is the wrong map. It's close, not quite. So they kind of adopted the Abbey more when Vuslux kind of took over or was mandated as um, the major religion of the empire. And the reason why they took over the Abbey was because the church in Glaushine, for whatever reason, had to be up its butt about the Order of the Martyr.
Let's see,
Probably
we got,
something to do with the fact that that Saint Soman killed Cassiandra, who was a succubus. It's not known. I mean, I've never gotten into as far as who she was, other than the fact that she was a succubus doing what demons do. But that may have that may have something to do with their outright hatred for the order, and so they moved up here.
well, the gnome is then 137 years. I guess while we're shooting the shit, seeing what's up, would perhaps the gnome know where the other part of the key might be? Would describe it? Should be a rather sought after artifact. Where would something like that possibly be hidden?
So, so that's a really good question. That's not a terrible idea. Where is
I mean,
her?
because if I find an old body part that I could touch or fuck around, I can cast Malachi's memorial, magnificent memorial, and we can have a conversation with that entity to try to get where the fuck this other key might be.
Right.
And that's where I'm going at with all that. Uh, Mavis is about to have a big hand in figuring out who takes over next, but I assure you, neither Borman nor Malachi care who runs this Abbey
Right.
next. Yeah, that's not their dig. Uh, they respect Mavis though. I mean, they're not gonna ruin it
So
for
Mavis
her.
is going to, or Mavis and Malachi are going to the
Oh, sure.
ossuary.
Right.
I just wanted to see if there's anything to learn up there.
Yeah.
So you, we'll get, and Borman was going to ask the questions of Matriarch Wobblespell.
That's correct.
Okay.
Gonna try to pick the gnome for information.
Okay.
Because
So,
Borman and the gnome are basically the same person.
well, yeah, not really. So the Ossuary of the Faithful is on the third floor, rather, and it these rooms here labeled 15. They are all the third floor is renowned for um, its great library, and so they have a ton of books and scrolls and all manner of information that they study. And of course, there's not a whole lot else to do up in the mountains in an abbey, and so this not only is their education but their form of entertainment. Um, Along with this, of course, 8 is the stairwell that leads up and down. 12 is the it's called Paladin's Rest. It's where it's basically the armory for the paladins, and then and if I remember directly below them is the dormitory. where Matriarch Wobblespell and is kind of a part of that. 13 is the Patriarch's private quarters, and but the Patriarch is with you up here in 14 or in the ossuary. It is a light gray stone floor. It does have a 15-foot vaulted ceiling, and from floor to ceiling, all the way up to the 15 feet, there are funerary niches, and each of these niches is probably about the size of a brick. And uh, explaining to Malachi, the Patriarch Gifford says, "Oh well, you must know the ossuary doesn't need large funerary niches. Most of the remains that return are not very large, if we are lucky to get anything at all." And hanging in front of each of these niches is a porcelain face. And they so they're the process, he explains, in order to be considered for burial in the ossuary of the faithful, there must be a witness to the deeds of the deceased. It is not a requirement that this individual be a member of the order, only that they understand the deceased's beliefs. I will then study and compare the witnesses' statements with the texts found in the great library, and should I just confirm that the deceased's deeds match the best ideals of the order, an interment ceremony will be held, and we will place, hopefully, usually bones, but in this case, a lock of hair, into one of the niches. And you can. There are not enough niches in the ossuary for over this length of time for all of the members that could possibly be buried here. So there is very, very likely that a lot of these niches are doubled up, at the very least.
Okay.
So he he then leaves, and he leaves the ossuary. He goes towards the Great Library because he has to essentially take Mavis's account of Cassandra's life and deeds and the manner of her death, which it was a trap, wasn't it? But
Think so.
you're muted.
Yeah, it sounds correct to me. I think
Yeah,
so.
so he has to. I mean, that's a rather inglorious end, but he has to look at not only that, but how she conducted her affairs up to that point, and essentially research, to see if she would be deemed worthy. It's very unusual that a cleric or paladin wouldn't be deemed worthy. Paladins probably more so than clerics. Paladins really walk a tightrope. If they do anything evil or consort with evil characters knowingly, that can be a big no-no. But
Mhm.
probably unlikely that Cassandra would be denied. And so you guys are left alone here in the ossuary.
Oh,
Let's start mixing up all the remains. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna take this finger bone and put it in this ossuary.
yeah. Well,
And they will
where are the
every
older
nail.
ones? Are they way up high or?
The oldest ones?
Yeah.
Well, there's not
Maybe they're
really
crammed behind the newer ones.
right. Yeah, there's not really names, and there. I mean, yeah, I guess there are names. So like, the names would be inscribed on the inside of the porcelain face mask hanging in front of each ossuary. So like, you might take a face mask and turn it over and look at it and see that there are 15 people or 15 parts of people in this one funeral niche. So but as far as like dates, uh, there's really no dates. The safest assumption would probably be that the oldest ones would be at the floor, just for you know, just for ease of use. And they're not going to
Okay.
climb all the way the top of a 15-foot vaulted ceiling to inter the ashes of the first.
All right. Well, then I guess I'll look for the one that I think would be the in the most prime real estate where you would start if you were sticking bodies in little holes in the wall,
Okay.
uh, you know, and uh, and I'll see what's on the other side of the thing. As Mavis, like we can get a lot of information about your order from this. This is great. Let's
Okay,
look and see what they look like.
if the patriarch or matriarch gets interred, is there anything special about their mask or their space, or not really? Or are they buried
Yes.
somewhere else?
So face masks. Here's. Thank you, Cameron. See, Cameron's always on top of the world building. So this wasn't even in the book because I just made it up on the spot. So the face masks for funerary niches, these porcelain masks are just white, uh, and but you can tell which niches have either at least parts or ashes of a member that was a patriarch or matriarch, because those particular ones are marked with a gold teardrop. And of course, if there's
Mhm.
more gold teardrops, there are more patriarchs or matriarchs in them.
Oh,
And
so we want.
if it was a matriarch, then it is marked with a silver teardrop.
All
So we're
right.
looking for one with a couple silver teardrops that look like they've been there for a long time.
I just wanted to see if there's like a history of like drama about like regime change. Like, did a bunch of people, um, did a bunch of people get in control and then got like killed or went missing or something?
So
Or if it
that
was
kind
pretty
of information will
normal.
be found in the Great Library easily because
Oh, okay. I should go look there then,
it's
probably.
it's kind of like I mean, say
Maybe I
what.
should just make sure that Malachi doesn't steal any body parts.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I'm not going to steal anything. I'm just, you know, if Mavis
Looking
is going to be like,
around.
oh yeah, you can tell the matriarchs because they were the silver teardrop on the mask.
Right,
I'll
right.
start trying to find me one that looks like it's had a teardrop for a long time ago. Maybe, you
So the other thing in here, in the corner here, uh,
oh, there's a box.
right there, that is actually a an iron pot-bellied stove, and so not only does it provide warmth for here, but of course, um, this pot-bellied stove can be stoked quite hot, and so remains can be burned to ash and then placed in, because ashes take up much less space than whole body parts. They don't rot and stink too. So there's that. Um,
Yeah.
and then of course each of the
Mhm.
funerary niches also has a small iron sconce next to the mask for holding a candle that you can light, in remembrance of whoever.
Yeah, let's light a candle for Cassandra.
Okay.
Yeah.
He had better stats than me, but worse luck, apparently.
Mhm. Yep, and I'm gonna while she's lighting a candle and being all reverent, I'm gonna try to get me an old matriarch
So
body part to
So
hold
you
for a moment.
find towards the bottom you find a mask that has both gold tears and a couple of silver tears, and your guess is that this mask has been here um, for quite some time.
All right, well, I want to get something from the very, very back. I figure things get pushed to the back as
Dig
they.
around.
Yeah, I'm going to go way down deep in there. I'm going to try to get me a piece, and then I'm going to cast my spell,
Ooh.
and uh, and then depending on who's in control will depend on how the conversation goes, I guess.
So what spell are you casting?
Malachi's Magnificent Memorial.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, so you pull a bone out, a piece of bone, and it's maybe about the size of a nickel,
Awesome.
and you cast. I need to look at here we go. Nope, here it is. So
I
you
rolled
take
the.
on the appearance, mannerisms, and knowledge of the spirit uh,
Mhm.
of the deceased for 1d4 plus your level in turns. So roll a d4.
Okay. I got a 10 on my chance to see who's in control. And it's for one turn plus my level. So 5 turns.
Okay.
I'm level 4.
So for almost an hour, 50 minutes,
Yeah.
you are in control, and you basically um, take on the appearance and mannerisms of this patriarch. And what are you wanting to know?
Well, I want to know if the patriarch knows where this other scepter might be, so that way we can unlock uh, Taz and Dantalus's tower. Mavis might want information from somebody that served a long time ago for history and guidance. Might want to ask for input on who ought to lead the fucking place next. All those things would be open. Uh, you know.
So
Yeah.
the no, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say the stuff about test samples is probably the first thing that I would ask.
So the patriarch does not know where this other key may be. In fact, he doesn't even know what the key is. He does know who Tasdantalus is, and but he didn't hear you know um, all that he knows is that Tasdantalus himself had gone missing. Nobody knows. His response is, well, nobody knows what happened to him. It is assumed that by the patriarch that um, the good Tassadantulus would have perished. Um, of course, not by natural means, because he fully believes that Tassadantulus was an avatar of the gods.
Would he have an idea on where an ancient place might be to start searching for the clues on where maybe a key to the tower would have been hidden?
He doesn't really. His response to that is that he doesn't, since he wasn't made aware that there was such a key,
Mhm.
or what it may have to do with Tassadantulus. He doesn't really have any. His response is there's many ancient places in the Skelos Mountains. This Abbey being one of them. It could be. I mean, if there is such a key, and you have reason to believe that it would be stashed somewhere up here in the Skelos Mountains, it could literally be anywhere. But he doesn't. He wouldn't even know where to begin to look.
Fair enough. So I guess Mavis, anything you want as far as your order? You have an old matriarch here.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what the how do you choose the best leader for the order in
Hmm.
your like
So
what class?
he, so the yeah, that's a good question. So the patriarch, he kind of chuckles at that, and he says something along the lines of, "Oh, so in your age, it's coming to be that time again." And
Like,
he says point blank, he says, being voted to be patriarch or matriarch of the order has little to do with the strength of your conviction, your faith, or even your piety. It is
mm,
all 100% political. And if throughout the time that you have been a part of the order, you have done things that have not made you friends of members of the order, you're probably not going to be voted to be the matriarch or patriarch. It is
oh,
100% political. Um, and he's
the
like, you.
popularity contest.
It is a popularity contest, 100%.
Okay. All right. So I guess that's all the questions I had. Does anybody have a clue who else would be voted for it? So we only know this one lady. Will she win by default, or I'll have to go talk to people, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll put the bone back, and I'll continue to have the appearance and likeness of this old matriarch as I walk with Mavis and to talk to whoever.
Okay. So,
Cool.
there, yeah. So where are you guys going next? So I mean, the Great Library has a load of information. So
Yeah, that seems like a good place to go.
one of the and you could, I mean, there's pros and cons to it, but ultimately, I think over the course of history, I think one of the bigger mistakes that, and this is in real life, that the church has made, is they have done the same thing that the Roman Empire did. They write down everything. Now, they'll tell you or say that there's well, no, nobody knows that text has been lost, or nobody knows, you know, nobody wrote it down. That's bullshit. They have archives of all of this crap beneath the Vatican. And the problem with doing that is that it doesn't, not everything that they write down is going to paint the church in the best light. And so, but this is a facet of it, and so of course the order has written these things down as well.
Hmm. All right. I'm down to dig through some books. Laura might help you. She likes books.
Whoops. In fact, hold on. Let me do that.
Malachi will engage in a lengthy conversation with the current leader.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. He's like, wow, you're fixing to leave and pass this on, you know, and, and now since I know a lot of shit, uh, you know, until the spell ends.
Right.
Yeah, especially if I know how the politics work. Who is this guy wanting? Does do I have good standing in the history of this place? Am I remembered? And if so, you know, perhaps I can go play the politic game and give my blessing to Mavis as being the next leader.
So, okay. So Malachi is looking for information on the spirit of the patriarch that he is currently conjured, correct?
No, I'm talking to the current proprietor and trying to find out who the power players are currently, uh, so that way before my spell ends, I can go pretend like I'm the ghost or visions of this fucking patriarch and get these people to to vote for Mavis to be the new leader.
Okay. Uh,
That's what I want to do.
don't know if that's my charisma's 5, just to remind you. I don't know if I'm gonna win that one.
well,
But I appreciate the support of my friends. That's pretty cool.
so so Malachi, you come into the Great Library where the current matriarch, or sorry, the current Patriarch Gifford, he is going through texts, kind of comparing Cassandra's deeds, etc., doing his job, and um, he basically just has a piece of parchment and a quill pen, and he's just doing check boxes like, "Yep, that fits. Yep, that fits." And um, and so you can go ahead and make for your question. You can go ahead and make a charisma ability check, but the patriarch, you can subtract 3 from your roll because you have the visage or the appearance and
I got a
whatnot.
1.
Okay, so not a nat one, but a 1. Yes.
Right.
So
A non-natural one,
yes,
which everything I do should not be natural anyway.
yeah. Well,
I'm a tainted soul.
yeah. So he basically spills that. I mean, he tells you honestly that that Gilda Wobble spell, um, for all her piety, um, that you know she's taken a vow of chastity. She she doesn't drink. Um, she more or less enforces these rules. Not so much. I mean, she definitely looks down on the male members of the clergy, but she all being the matriarch, she is kind of in charge of the female clerics and acolytes, and she almost enforces that vow of chastity and piety and virtue onto them. And Mavis would remember this, and was one of probably one of the leading reasons that Mavis and Cassandra um, decided to go on a mission to begin with, just to get away from this. And he tells you point blank, he's like, yes, for all of her piety, she's not popular. It is her belief, and he says, and really, this is her downfall. That she is prideful, is the biggest reason that she will probably not be voted matriarch of the order.
Okay.
As far as who else are likely to be, I guess, write-in votes, there is the Grand Marshal, who is the head of the Paladins. So the Paladins, and this is somewhat true for all religious orders. The Paladins are more or less um, their own thing. They are a group within the group. I mean, for all intents and purposes, a paladin is a cleric, but they have focused on the martial aspects. They are in some way touched by the gods, more so than a cleric. I mean, the whole lay on hands thing is pretty remarkable for paladins, but they they are their own unit within the greater unit. And so the Grand Marshal is probably one of the most likely candidates. Um, and he point blank says that the efforts of Mavis uh, to come back and the lengths that she went through to bring Cassandra back here to be interred is going it is very likely to put her as a write-in vote as well.
Oh no.
Do you not want it? I mean, as a player, do you or do you not want it?
Don't you have to stay here if you win?
Well, I mean, yeah, it'd be a little weird for a leader of an organization like this to go gallivanting off across the world. Um, but the Patriarch Gifford tells Malachi, he says, "Well, hopefully, don't count me out yet. Hopefully, this whole vote isn't going to take place for a many number of years."
Do you have any fear about the gnome? You know,
Pushing
a
you
lot
down
of
the
times,
stairs?
yeah,
No.
a lot of times the really good people that toe the line for a long time, when they don't get what they think is due, they usually decide not to toe the line anymore.
Well, he says, "No, no, I don't have any fear of Gilda, but here is a piece of wise advice. We break up the world along lines of uh, of alignment of nature. There's, of course, a lawful, which everybody assumes that they are the good and righteous people. And then, of course, there is the chaotic. These are automatically assumed to be evil. They sow chaos. And then in the middle, you have the likes of many and mostly found in nature, such as animals, who are neutral. He says, the piece of advice that I would give to you is to realize that a lawful world can be as bad or worse than a chaotic one. Those laws of gods and men can be used to crush you as easily as a horde of chaotic demons, sometimes to greater effect. An
Well,
example
chances are war's coming, right?
well, an example of this would be what has happened in the capital city of Glauschein. It would be considered a lawful nation, and yet their taxation and their laws across the land are crushing the people in an evil manner.
Okay. Well, I mean, the church is going to fight what's coming, right?
Oh, well, yes, when the time comes, but um,
Well, I mean, the tax person is dead. The Duke is dead. It was the Duke of the Baron that we killed.
well,
The fake. We killed the fake, but
you're assuming that. Well, first of all, you don't know that the real Duke was a bad guy in the first place. And there is metagaming. There is some information to be had about that. Um,
well, I mean, I guess I'll let Mavis
but
tell him or not tell him
so
about what we've done. But
the patriarch tells you. He says, yes, the should the time come and the event take place, the order would of course take up arms on the side of righteousness to rid the land of this. But at this point, I don't necessarily see that that will ever be something that will take place. I think that uh, the wiser decision is to realize when one is beaten.
oh, well, that's a real can-do attitude.
He's fucking old. He's tired.
Yeah, he's old and tired. Oh, thank you for your time. Then I'm gonna go talk to Mavis and tell her everything I learned,
Okay. So
so that way she's up to it. And then if be like, man, if he says you're a write-in candidate, if you want that, it can be here, or if you want to persuade it, I, I I don't think the gnome is gonna make it.
Probably not.
You know.
If there's anybody with adequate charisma, we're both probably gonna lose to them though. So we'll see.
so what is what is Mavis searching for in the library?
She's looking for the records of when um the leadership changed in
So yeah,
the order.
you find you find this large leather bound brass buckled tome, that's probably about 2 feet thick, and a rather large book. And
Yeah.
you set this on the study table, and you open this thing up, and you're kind of going through, and there are a number of times dating back through the order, um, pretty much almost to the founding of the order. And of course, the further back that you go, um, the the more um, florid the prose is. It seems like there's probably a grain of truth in everything, but it seems like a lot of this has been embellished, of course. Um, so the more recent examples are more lurid and more likely to have happened. And so the most recent example was of Patriarch Gifford himself, and it basically goes in that um, a he was the middle candidate. There were three, and he was kind of the middle of the road. Um, and it does tell you that part of it basically tells you a cautionary tale that it is thought that Gifford was a whoever wrote this account. It was thought that the selection of Gifford to be the next patriarch was a wise choice, because the other candidate was the Grand Marshal of the Paladins, and another one, the third candidate, of course, was another cleric, and the other cleric, similar to Gilda, was very pious, um, and but was marred with some acts that may not, in their history, may not have shed a good light on them. While the Grand Marshal, and this is more important to the point, if a Grand Marshal is made a patriarch of the or matriarch of the order tends to take on a much more militant status. They become more of a a military force rather than one that is spreading um, spreading the word of Saint Soman. I mean, it can still be said that of course, they all of these military campaigns that they take part in are on the side of law and of good, but um, ultimately that is kind of viewed by the order as not necessarily not necessarily the nature of the order as a whole. The feeling that you get is that the view of the order, going all the way back to the beginning, is that paladins are um, a hammer, and they are a tool to be wielded, specifically a hammer. But when you have a hammer that is in charge, everything is a nail.
Well, that might be good for now if there's a bunch of conflict coming. So
That's what I was thinking too. I mean, I'm like, if the war
yeah,
drums, if we're fixing to hear the the drums of Moria go off, I mean, then I would think this place needs to get militant up and ready to fight.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, I mean, your guys' impression so far is that really they they go out, they send their younger clerics, youngish clerics, and acolytes and paladins out on these missions, and for the most part, um, they go out to do good in little ways. Like, for instance, Mavis going out and conducting healing and offering prayer services to the faithful, or funerary services. That means a lot to the people that she's helping, but on a huge scale, um, it's not world changing. It might be world changing for that one or two people that you help, but it's certainly not going to change the events of history.
Do you think that we could offer the temple in the Castle Braunhaven property? Do you think we could offer that to your clique, and they can start sending people over there to rebuild that?
oh, that's a good point. If I were in charge, then yeah, we could make like satellites and have them do service by repairing different things.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I had not thought of that.
And if you're leading the new age, I mean, then you need to go out in the world and take care of this shit. You need to uh, delegate people to run these stupid temples. You might
I
not
think
want to phrase it that way, but you know,
Well, and
I
I
think
mean, so I mean, let let's say you get to a point where you establish Castle Braun as a stronghold. That is going to paint a target on your backs, obviously. But um, really, if you were to dedicate that temple um, to the Order of the Martyr and Saint Soman, um, that's going to make that target bright neon red.
because of their like restrictions on worship and stuff,
Well,
right?
yeah, because the Church of Vuslux is just their witch hunters basically have a kill on sight order for any who are found to be following Saint Soman, or really of the order of the martyr.
Mm. All right, that's good to know.
well, then maybe not be so public about what it is. You know,
It
go in
could be
there
covert.
and yeah, and have a covert temple, a base of operations. You don't necessarily have to put neon signs up. I mean, the place has been kind of abandoned in the home of a vampire for a long fucking time. So it's not like people are coming around poking around.
What is Alora looking for in the library?
Dark secrets.
Okay. So have Alora roll a d6.
Or
So she she does find she does find an interesting book, actually. So she didn't necessarily find a book of dark. Well, are they dark secrets? I don't necessarily know that it's dark secrets, but she finds a connection, um, or at least a likely connection. It can be, if you're reading between the lines, it can be inferred that there's a connection between the clerical clergy of the 12 gods and the druidic faith of the old gods. And it appears that at one point those druids were clerics, and that at some point they kind of split.
Well,
And I mean,
that's interesting.
yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not completely unknown per se, but part of this also history that she learns is that some of those druids, um, the split between the two religions happened, some of those druids uh, splintered off even further, and and it is implied that bards are actually members of the druidic faith as well, and that witches are attached to the druidic faith. But even this religious text views witches as a corruption of the druidic faith.
Hmm. All right. And so it's good to spend a day reading at the
Yeah,
library.
yeah. So it is like around probably around midnight. The candles are getting low by the time you
It's time to
guys.
go to sleep.
Yeah, by the time you guys decide to turn in, and outside, there is uh, the weather has kind of changed. It's gotten a little breezy. There's a very fine snow falling that's being blown around, but not. It's not a blizzard by any means. It's just windy um, and a little bit snowy and very cold, even for it being uh, the later end of summer. It is very cold in the mountains at night. And so this, of course, is the dormitory level. This corner here has its own stairwell access. This bottom dormitory is mostly taken up with acolytes, and going up the stairs leads, of course, to the Paladin's Rest. And this corner room here is set up for the matriarch, and somebody has the sad misfortune of having to bunk with Gilda Wobblespell. But you were given rooms, probably this room here, to bunk in for the night, and your guide Skopti, he just lays out a his bedroll in the common area and lays out because he's 9 feet tall. He's not going to fit in the beds, and he's like, I am not going to make them put a couple of beds together to fit my massive body. I am a gracious guest. I am not going to ask them to do something that is ridiculous.
Does that mean I can have your bed and would somebody help me squeeze these two together?
Like a huge bed. Yeah, that'd be fun.
So yeah, you guys bed down for the night, and you can hear outside the wind kind of howling through the trees. Um, Beyond, well, there is
They have paladins and shit watching the gates and the doors
yes,
and all of that.
yes.
No,
Oh, okay, all right. Dun dun dun. Now I get to use random tables.
I hope it's a dragon.
Do you though?
Yeah, I really do. A red one.
I shall allow you to choose the choice of the destroyer. Roll a d8, somebody.
A 6.
Okay, interesting.
Red dragon. I've got a potion that'll allow me to make that motherfucker mad in a little bit, but under my control before that. So I'm thinking if you do a whole bunch of damage before that potion wears off.
Roll a d20.
It is an orcish caravan that has thousands upon thousands of gold pieces and wagons.
Oh. Ooh, okay.
You can use that if you want. I'm okay.
Dun, dun. And roll 3d10.
You're really kind of getting this, really working me here. 834.
15. Okay.
Okay.
So you guys crash out, and I mean, this is one of the more restful sleeps that you've gotten, outside of an inn, simply because, you don't have to set up a watch. There are paladins watching. But probably around 3 bells in the morning, and bells, of course, being the operative word, because they shortly after the 3 bells are rung by the watch, ding ding ding, like a brass bell, you hear the alarm bell ringing, cling clang 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 clang, waking up the entire abbey, and um, running out of the corner of the dormitory is a paladin as he's strapping on his plate, and he's running around banging on doors with the pommel of his sword, um, trying to arouse everybody.
Let's go.
So you guys open the door. You are wearing your night clothes, and the paladin tells you, he says, "Oh, you'll want to arm yourselves. There is a group of berserkers that have moved up the mountain. Now you know that there are, um, Scopti will tell you, oh, there are known to be barbarian berserkers running all around the mountains. They must have decided to try and pick on the abbey for easy pickings."
Well, I'm going to go ahead and put my plate mail on and get ready to fight.
Okay, all right.
And Malachi
I'll get ready.
will.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Did this last long enough that I can reset spells?
Uh, Probably not. No.
All right.
Well, you've only cast the one spell though.
That's correct. But that means whether I get to reset my spells versus what I had memorized or not. But it's no big deal. Malachi will help Borman get his shit on, so it's quicker.
So you guys throw yourselves together, and that of course takes a good 10 minutes to get your armor on and maneuver yourselves downstairs. And as you get to the bottom of the stairs, um, coming out here, um, as you open this door to come out, Gilda, Matriarch Gilda Wobblespell, is standing there, and she casts Bless on you. Uh,
Live long and prosper.
All right, let's throw down.
so yeah, she casts Bless on you, which gives you a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls, and everybody in the I mean, Scopty gets a +1 to his morale. So Scopty, as you guys are running, where exactly? And I suppose change. Let's see here. Foreman, Malachi, and David. We know where you guys are. So it should be noted that uh, Scopty. Do I? Here, we'll just use him for Scopty. So Scopty um, tells you guys that berserkers are known to go into a terrible, terrible rage. He says this makes them extremely dangerous, but to be known, but it should be you should be aware that this can also be advantageous because sometimes these idiots go into such a terrible rage they attack each other.
Ooh, cool. That's a good tip. Thanks, Lofty.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, why don't we? I will just them down there. My dice really like to roll fast. So everybody, go ahead and roll initiative. What did Malachi get?
Malachi got a 4 and Borman got a 3.
Okay. And Alora? What did Alora get?
3,
And Mavis?
6.
A 6? Okay. Okay. And Scopty and the Berserkers both got a 2. So
Mhm.
Mavis, with the big six, what is Mavis wanting to do?
Running towards the danger.
Okay,
Um,
okay,
10, 25. I think I can go 30. So I can't really get that far. But rah! Here we go.
yeah. And what is Malachi doing?
Malachi is gonna go along with him. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Oop, right there. And that's his turn.
Okay. Let's see here. Borman and Alora both go at the same time. So what is
4,
Borman doing?
10, 15, 20. Warman's following along as
And
quickly as they can. It's not as quick as the others, but
Alora. Okay.
Yep, moving along.
Scopty. Gets to move there. Meanwhile, the Berserkers. Oh yeah. You hear from outside, and I mean you're of course inside a stone uh, keep-like structure, um, but it is loud enough that even you can hear it. There is a great crash, and the berserkers have made their way inside, and are doing. I mean, they basically just bashed through the front gate and are engaging the paladins in these two gatehouses here in combat, and they actually I should probably put the paladins on here. Ooh, I'm gonna go on 5. All right, and that brings us back to Mavis.
All right. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I can get to the door.
Okay. When you get to the door, so the door is shut, and there is a large bar that, of course, is blocking it shut. If you wanted to, you could unlock it, or I mean, what are you doing?
I think I should wait for my friends to be here. I don't know how many guys are out there.
Okay,
So,
okay.
yeah.
Uh, the paladins are not doing well. They they are engaged in hand to hand combat with these berserkers.
Oh, wait, I can like hear them on the other side.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna open the thing then. Sorry.
Okay.
I thought they were busting in and nobody was confronting them yet. Okay, no, I'll open the door.
Okay. So you lift the bar and open the door, and you can see that there are 15 of these wild men, basically wearing hide furs. Um, all of them are wielding axes, battle axes,
Ooh,
and you know, they're wearing like war paint that looks like it was probably just their hand dipped in a bowl of blood and wiped on them, kind of war
yeah.
paint. um,
Oh, yeah. That's not good.
Malachi, what would you like to do?
Malachi is going to move his 30 feet. Should put him kind of right in there. He's just going to kind of go, straight east after he gets to that doorway there.
Okay.
And if he could look in there and see berserkers and all that, he's going to go ahead and shoot his crossbow.
Okay. Go for it.
It's a +1 crossbow, and then I get a +1 for dex and a +1 for my bless, and maybe a +1 for short range.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
All right, well, 21 to hit.
That is a hit.
All right, and so this dude will take 6 +1 for the bless, +1 for the +1. Nope, sorry, that's not the bolt. It's just the crossbow. So it'll be 7.
Yeah. So Malachi cuts loose with his crossbow and hits one of the berserkers, and the berserker falls to the ground in a pool of blood. So there, and then there were 14. Or Alora, what are you doing?
I'm gonna hop on the broom and throw a knife in there.
Okay, go for it.
It's 13 to hit.
Don't forget you're blessed.
I did, yeah. It's a +1 dagger, and I'm blessed, so I added 2.
What's
Rolled
Alora's Taka?
19, I want to say 19.
You know what? She hit.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, they're in hide.
For let me check. It's +1 damage, right? Yeah. So it's for 8 points. That's pretty
Okay.
good.
So she throws her dagger and it buries into the throat of another one of these berserkers, and he goes down sloppily. And of course, the dagger flings back into her hand. What is Borman doing?
Borman's going to go ahead and go invisible, I guess. And then go 5, 10, 15, 20. That's his turn.
Okay. Scotty.
I'm going to jump on Scotty's back.
You could.
Carry me into battle, you fucking big motherfucker.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Go ahead and roll a dexterity ability check.
All right. I got it.
So
I have an 18 dex.
invisibly, you jump onto Scotty's back, and he kind of starts for a second, and he says, as he's running, says something along the lines of, "You're not as light as you look, little man." 20.
Run, you fool.
Scotty gets right in here. And where are you jumping off at? Are you jumping off in the fight?
I'm gonna get right up here next to Mavis and kind of wait my turn.
Okay, yeah, that can be done. So
No.
Scotty is going to swing his battle axe. Come on, Scotty. That's fucking embarrassing. Yeah, Scotty swings and somehow misses 13 guys. I don't know how that happens. The so the berserkers. I need tokens. There's another berserker. A berserker is going to run up here to try and attack Mavis. Another berserker is going to he's going to try and run through because he thinks there's an opening here. How high up is Mavis? So number 4 here to give you an idea of what we're looking at here. So this is kind of an open courtyard area. Um, basically gravel and light snow. There is a small manger in this back corner here, where your dogs are being kept, and the dogs are howling and barking and carrying on, and then I mean, the manger is just a simple affair. It's barely enough to keep the snow and rain off of the animals. They don't have very many animals here. Usually there's like a single cow, and there's a few sheep along with the dogs. But beyond that, they don't have a whole lot of animals. But he's gonna this berserker's gonna try and run right through um, Borman, not realizing that Borman is there. And how high up is Alora?
She doesn't have any armor, so like out of swinging range for
You're probably more
however.
up towards the second level where this um, parapet is. So he's going to try to run right or run right through Borman. Borman, you get a free attack if you would like.
Yeah, I'll take my free attack. I'm blessed, so this will be plus one for my strength, plus one for the sword, and plus so this will be plus three. 21 to hit.
That hits.
All right. So 6 points of damage, and I am visible.
Okay, so yeah, you as he goes running through you, you kind of turn and slice him uh, as he runs past you, and he just kind of falls on his face and skids to a stop in front of Malachi. Another guy back here is going to throw. I need to find it because I don't use these very often. He's going to throw a javelin at Alora, which would put it probably at mid range. No, it's still short range, so he gets a plus one. 10, really? What the fuck is with these things? What's Alora's AC? He hits AC 8.
That's my AC exactly.
Really? Holy
Yeah.
shit. Okay. So Alora gets hit for 2 points of damage by this javelin. And it like basically it doesn't even penetrate that far. It sticks into Alora and then kind of falls out of its own wound and falls to the ground.
Ow.
And last but not least, another one moves up here and is now that he was going to run after the one that tried to attack Malachi, but now he sees that Borman is in his way, so he is going to swing on Borman with his battle axe. God damn it, guys. Yeah, he only hits AC 7, so he swings and I assume Borman is wearing his plate.
That's correct. I have -2 AC. Plate, shield, sword, and
You got a
board.
shield. So yeah, his battle axe rings off of Borman's shield. The rest of them are going to be attacking the said paladins. Really, guys. Um, mm, Probably not. I mean, I'm just eyeballing it, but where's my A veteran. Here's a veteran. No, they are the paladins are defending themselves, almost to the point of a stalemate. As weird as that might be. We're back to Mavis. What would you like to do? I mean, you've got this berserker,
Right up in my face.
in your face.
Let's smack him for 19 to hit. That's gotta hit.
Ooh. And you are Thaco 17?
Yes.
Yeah, you hit -2 AC. That is a hit.
Okay. Let's see how much
This
damage I
guy's
get.
about to
Oh,
get
yay!
a
Got max
hammer.
damage, so I got 8 altogether.
Ooh. So Mavis cracks this guy in the face with
Yeah.
her axe, and he crumples to the ground. And then there were 11. Mr. Malachi, what would you like to do? Oh, wait, there's paladins. Let's see if the paladins can thin any of their number. Okay, I'm starting to get real tired of your shit, paladins. I'm gonna clear my dice and change colors because this is absurd. I'm gonna go green. So the paladins are sucking. You guys are watching these paladins fight, and you're like, maybe it's not such a good idea that that they create a militant group. These guys kind of blow. So Malachi, what are you doing?
Gonna shoot my bow at the one in the back.
That's gonna be difficult because Mavis and Borman are taking up the bulk of that doorway.
Okay. I don't want to injure anybody, so I am just going to hold my action. I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
I mean, I don't foresee anybody really busting through real quick, so this is. I don't do enough damage. I could hurt. Major minuses are not good for me.
Right. Right. Alora, what are you doing?
Some revenge for that javelin that got thrown at me.
Okay.
That was rude. I'll throw the throwing dagger.
All right.
Ooh. For 9 to hit, there's no way that hits.
Yeah, no, Alora misses,
Yeah.
and the dagger kind of flips around, not hitting anybody. What is
Okay.
Borman doing?
Borman's gonna swing on this guy right here in his face.
Okay.
What he's gonna do? 8. I don't know. That goes 17. It's AC 9.
No, that's a miss.
Then
And
I miss.
the berserker kind of lifts his axe up and blocks your sword attack.
I'm gonna go ahead and step up into the
Okay.
hole there. Yeah.
All right. Skopti's gonna make his swing. Skopti, god damn it. Hey, he hit. All right. For 1 point of damage. Oh no! Look out. The berserkers. Well, this berserker is going to swing on Skopti. Oh my god! And he ultra failed. Skopti's going to take a free attack on him. Ooh, and he hits for another whole whopping 2 points. So yeah, this guy's taking 3 points of damage. He's pretty badly injured, to be honest. Two of them are going to attack Borman. Oh. He hits AC 3, that's a miss. And that's a miss. And the one in the back is going to. And the rest of them are going to attack paladins. And just cock that up. All right. Mavis, what would you and your badass hammer like to do?
Smack somebody. Let's see if it can make it happen. Can I reach
Yeah, you can
this
get him.
person? Okay. Maybe. Ooh, no, I can't. Not with 6.
Yeah, so you swing and he kind of ducks, and all of the berserkers all start to, their demeanor starts to get more and more crazy. They are going into a battle rage. Paladins. No, paladins are sucking it up. Malachi.
All right, that guy in the very back.
Yeah.
Let's. Nope, that one that's injured right there in front of our
In
our
front of
faithful.
Scopty.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and he needs to save versus spells. I'm gonna have to move up a little bit, so I'll do that. I need to get within 10 feet of that guy.
He fails.
Okay, he's got the witherweed poison on him.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so he'll take a D4 right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, be within 10 feet. You're probably more like there.
Okay. Well, he'll take 2 points of damage, and he'll take a D4 every round for up to 3 rounds. So.
Yeah. Let's see. Malachi's Witherweed Smoke. 1d4 damage per round for the duration of the spell. So yeah, that is correct. 3 rounds. So two more rounds of him taking Witherweed Smoke in the face.
Yeah.
And he, Malachi blows this smoke from the palm of his hand, and this guy just starts to cough and choke and have general issues almost immediately.
And then, any other movement I got, I think I got enough to kind of step over here, kind of make it so you can't hit me with ranged.
My other. No, it is for the duration spell. Okay. I was questioning what I had written on that because there was a possibility that he would have gotten another. I don't know. I couldn't remember if he got a save every round or not. So okay, so you move over back into the corner. Alora, what are you doing up on your broom?
Doing a drive-by staggering. Well,
Okay.
worked well one time. Come on now, 10. No way.
A 10?
Yeah, I don't think that works.
Probably not. Yeah, no, you only hit AC 9.
Okay.
So yeah, she menacingly throws her dagger and misses everything. The enemy is stunned 2 rounds due to laughter. Borman, what would you like to do? Borman's kind of in the thick of it here.
Yeah, I'm just the guy that is kind of. I'm gonna still go for this guy right in front of me.
Okay.
He's kind of in the middle of everything. It just seems like a good place to be. I think I'm gonna miss. I hit AC 10.
Yeah, no, that's a miss. In fact, let me 1, 2, 3, 4. 5.
Oh.
7. Eight.
Oh, they're starting to mount up on the outside.
9. Yeah, there's 11 of these guys left.
Okay.
And 11. So they're all kind of foaming at the mouth and looking like they are going aggro. So that was Allura, that was Borman. Skopti is making it. What the shit? Yeah, no. Skopti gets close, but no cigar. The so these guys in here are of course going to go for their most likely targets. Two of them are going to attack Mormon. One is of course going to attack Skopti. Skopti, I think probably gets hit. Yeah, Skopti. Skopti. Skopti takes 1 point and yells out something about, "Is that the best you can do?" 2 on Borman, but they get, because they are in a rage, they get a +2. +2 to hit humans and similar humanoids, orcs, goblins, etc. So they get a +2 to their attack. Oops. Nope. He hits AC 1. The other guy hits AC 5. And then the rest of them, I would say this guy back here is going to attack a paladin and suck. And then the rest of them, ooh, okay. They are attacking each other because the paladins are defending the gatehouse. They are crowded. They can't get in, and they are in a battle rage. And they start literally tearing into each other, not with their weapons so much, but like their bare fingernails, trying to get through to make their attack. Mavis.
Okay.
What level is Mavis?
7. I could go nuclear on it. Because I do have 1 5th level spell.
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, yeah. You
I
could.
got insect plague,
Yeah.
so I think I might just do that and get it over with.
That's always fun.
It's a lot of dudes.
I was gonna
What's the point on having all those?
I was gonna ask if you had call lightning because there is a snowstorm going on.
What's the point on having the really cool spells if you don't lay them down?
Right?
I don't know. I didn't think about it until just now. Okay, let's see. I'm looking for the description of it. Oh,
You probably got a shit ton of cleric scrolls too.
yeah, most of them are like healing or like repelling evil kind of thing.
So you're going with insect plague. So it says casting above ground conjures a 60 diameter swarm of flying insects with the following properties. They have 20 foot per round movement, and you can direct their movements. Within the area of the vision in the area of the swarm is obscured. Creatures of 2 hit dice or less are driven away if caught within the swarm. If the caster moves or loses concentration, the swarm dissipates. So you have to concentrate on this, and you can't move.
Let me get in a good spot real quick then.
And it has no effect if cast underground, which that's not an issue here. So, then my question
I'll stand back.
is...
Yeah.
Interesting. So it doesn't actually do any damage. It's just going to make them run. I that's odd.
Pretty horrifying.
Well, yes, most definitely. Isn't there? Let me take a look here. 2. I thought.
So they either get driven away or blinded, which is, pretty good.
Right. Oh, yeah.
When they're in a range.
So,
or in a range.
There are stats for an insect swarm.
Oh, cool.
Does it? Yeah, it does say. It's just they're just pretty basic. I would say. So this is a swarm of flying insects. So it says flyers, bees, hornets. Fills a 10-foot by 30-foot area. Okay.
So they should just be spilling out the front door, basically.
Yeah. There is
That's
a swarm of hornets that are pissed off that you can direct, and they automatically damage characters within the area for 2 hit points. If they're wearing armor, 4 hit points with that. So these guys are wearing hide armor. So all of them will take 2 hit points, which puts them all up to 3 points of damage total. And then okay, so then the question. Interesting spell. And these guys are 1+1 hit dice, so they are going to flee on their turn and try to get out of the swarm. That's what it says, right? Yes, are driven away if caught within the swarm. Well, they are all caught within the swarm. Okay. Well done. All right, so paladins. Oh, the paladins are also caught in the swarm. The paladins are going to make a full retreat, and shut the door and make a full retreat up the stairs to get away from the swarm. So these 2 doors are now shut, and are making their way up to the 2nd level parapet, trying to get out of the swarm. Malachi, what would you like to do? You're seeing pretty much mass chaos. You can't even see. Borman and Scopty have disappeared. They are in the middle. Oh shit! They're in there too. So Borman and Scopty both take 2 points of damage.
All right.
Due to being stung.
I thought I could control the shape of the swarm, but I don't know. I'll summon it and then I can move it next turn. Okay, yeah. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's just a 20-foot, or it's just a large, 10 by 20-foot area. So, A cloud of
Yeah,
stinging wasps.
I'm just gonna hold my ground, just kind of back up this way a little bit.
Okay. I can see Malachi go back in the building and just quietly shut the door. Be like, that is not my
Yeah.
rodeo. uh, what? So, what? Borman, you are caught in the swarm. What does Borman want to do? What level is Borman?
Um. Oh, Borman's fourth
Okay.
and fourth.
So yeah, you don't. You're higher than 2 hit dice, so you don't have to run away.
I'm just gonna nail this guy right here next to me. So that'd be a 19 to hit.
That is a hit.
That's +2 on damage. +3 on damage. Sorry, 6 points of damage.
So another one goes down as Borman runs him through.
And then I'm gonna step out right here.
Okay, so you are out of the swarm. What's Alora doing? Probably cackling with glee.
Yeah, she's quite pleased at the development of the insects stinging those guys that threw a javelin at her. Um, I can sling a dagger in there though. Might as well.
You will be at -2 because you remember you can't see anybody through the swarm. This is a pretty thick cloud of bugs.
Okay. Well, it's +2 -2 then, and I missed anyway because I got a 7.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
so
terrible
yeah,
today.
this flies through the swarm and comes back. Um, Scopty is going to make a fighting retreat. So he's going to swing. And once again, Scopty the Terrible misses, and he comes out of the swarm. These guys, of course, are bravely running away. 20, 30. This guy runs all the way off the map. He runs off the map. 40. These two guys in the back are going to still be in the swarm, so they're going to take another 2 points. So that is, oh, the hornets or wasps or whatever they are sting these two guys to death. That's got to be a shitty way to go. Back to Mavis. What is Mavis doing? She can direct her swarm. You basically got
It's,
2 groups now.
okay. Can I guess it's just, they're running away, right?
Yeah. So it's are driven away if caught within the swarm. Yeah, I guess they are. It
I'm
doesn't.
gonna have it hang around the front door, so if they change their mind, they can't really go back.
Okay.
We'll do that until they run away all the way.
Okay. Uh, the paladins are still staying locked inside. Bravely. What is Malachi doing?
Malachi is man. It really looks like the battle's kind of over. They're retreating. As hazardous way to go. I know what I'll do. This number one area still all insects?
Yes.
Or yeah.
And it's spilling out that front door to the south.
Yeah, I don't want to take any damage. So I'm gonna hold.
Okay. So yeah, you pretty much nailed it when you said that this battle's pretty much over. So I'm going to call it with these six making their way off into the night.
No, one of them, uh, he's going to take another 4 points of hit points this round,
Oh,
and
that's
then
right.
next round he's going to choke.
He would choke to death and die. So
Yeah,
five of them get away. Out of the 15, only five have escaped, and you know, Scopty is left kind of um, nursing some of the stings that he got, and you know, a bit of the wound that he took, and he says, "Oh, that was a good battle. You are excellent fighters."
well, I'm really the only fighter here right now, Scotty.
Right? Yes.
Hmm.
So, so he so the you know, things kind of calm down, and the insect swarm kind of finally fades away, and the paladins kind of sheepishly come out once the swarm is gone. Um, and all of these paladins, they're only like third level paladins. They're not they're not nearly as experienced and wise as you guys are. And so they're more than a little embarrassed. Not to mention the fact they fought like shit. Um, and you guys are basically allowed to go back to you know, retire back to your rooms. Um,
Whew, man, what a night.
Yeah,
right,
that was,
with the battle, you know, Patriarch Gifford, make sure to tell um, uh, Matriarch Wobblespell to not, you know, not wake everybody up. It's a little tough for you guys to get back to sleep right away because the paladins are busy refortifying that door, and so there is some hammering going on and whatnot. But you do eventually drift off to sleep, and you are able to complete a long rest.
hmm,
And so you wake up the next morning, and even with being allowed to you're not woken by the usual morning bell. Mavis knows about this. Um, you wake up, and most of the rest of the order has already awoken. They are downstairs, um, and already kind of having breakfast. Uh, throw a party token down here. And so you guys make your way downstairs. You can and these big double doors here are open, and you can smell the smells of bacon and or yeah, probably bacon and eggs and potatoes, um, drifting throughout the abbey. And you come out, and of course there are big bowls on the table, wooden bowls of scrambled eggs and plates of bacon, and so you guys are able to get your grub on. Um, and Scompy immediately, as he's sitting there with a mouthful of bacon and eggs, and there's some of the eggs are in his beard. He as soon as you join, the he wants he says, "So are you packed? Are you ready to get going? Where I assume we're continuing up to the eastern tradeway and make our way towards Zalatoheim."
well, first off, is I want to take a gold piece out and some string, and I'm gonna kind of wrap the string around the gold piece a couple different ways, and then string it around so it's a necklace. And I'm gonna go up to the leader of the paladins, and I'll be like, I've I've not seen a race like that in all these many years, and here you've won first place in the track meet. I saw you guys as you were going out. There's gold medal, and I'll put it around his neck and be like, let it never be said that the paladins of the fallen of the martyr don't run, because they run strong.
Oh,
Oh
uh,
my gosh.
yeah. Um, yeah, that's gonna go over like a lead balloon. Um,
If you don't want jokes, don't run.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
what is your charisma?
Oh, do we really need to go there?
Yeah.
I've got a 10.
So a 10. Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
there is.
right here. He pushes you away and says, "I will not have my honor uh, challenged in such a way." And he draws his sword and
Well,
challenges you to a duel on the spot.
Oh man, can we finish our eggs and stuff before we
like, oh,
Can't we finish our breakfast?
I mean, you know, it's apparently that you'll save face here because all we saw was your backside when we fought yesterday. But
Oh no. Ah.
I guess, I guess if you do, I mean, did you notice how many of them I cut down, or were you too busy running? I don't know, but we'll finish breakfast, and if you really feel like your honor is going to be done by attacking an ally, then perhaps you should be martyred because you're probably not cut out for this life anyway. But if you were wise, you would take this lesson and learn to figure out a way to keep your fucking morals in check during the battle,
the
not get
as
brave
as
after the battle.
as Borman is continuing to
Just eating and
insult.
talking shit.
Yeah, and continuing to insult the Grand Marshal. The rest of the people in the other clerics and paladins that are eating are moving tables and chairs out of the way uh, for this duel.
Okay, Mavis is gonna get one of those gaseous form potions and take it so she can just float away from all of this and not
I'm
have
not
to.
gonna kill the poor chap. I'm just gonna lay him.
It'll be fine, I know. She's just
Yeah,
mortified, that's all. I'm not really gonna take the potion either, it's too valuable. But it was a
yeah.
thought in my head for
Uh,
sure.
So he is a 5th level paladin.
wow, he's not a pussy.
With 27 hit points. He's wearing plate armor.
If he was
Uh,
a 20, if he was a fifth level paladin, he wouldn't be running.
um,
But whatever, we'll fight. I'm afraid.
yeah. Borman, roll initiative.
All right, 6.
Okay. All right. So you have the initiative. Um, he is he has taken up a dueling stance with his sword and shield. Borman, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna throw my throwing axe at him.
Okay.
That's exactly what the fuck I'm gonna do. Oh no, that's not what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna turn invisible.
Okay. So you turn invisible. Great.
Yep. And then I'm going to sneak back. Just sneak back away, you know. Here's my moving silent roll.
Okay.
Yeah, like a ninja.
So let me. I need to look up invisibility. Let's see. What does it say specifically? It says Hmm. Interesting. So it says there's a couple of different invisibilities. Magic user invisibility. Same thing. I'm going to say that he has, well, he's going to have a 1 in 6 chance of striking where you would be. And so he swings where he thought you would be and misses.
Okay.
What would you like to do? I guess, what is Malachi, Alora, and Mavis doing? I mean, this is a duel that I mean, this is actually not that uncommon. What are you guys doing?
Mavis can't look. Alora's like eating popcorn. Um, just watching it all go down, I guess.
What about Malachi?
Um, Malachi will say, fighting amongst ourselves is silly and childish, and quite frankly, I would have expected more from an order of honor of something like this. I mean, really, you should earn your honor rather than trying to defend it against somebody that pointed out a truth. It's not really an honorable way to go.
Make a what is your charisma?
See, you got that bullshit. Uh, 6. 6 is my charisma.
Roll 2d6 minus 1.
All right. We'll do that. 2d6 minus 1 is 3.
Yeah, no, he is still pretty pissed off. What does Borman want to do with his invisible self?
Borman's going to continue to move silently and leave.
Okay, so Borman,
Or something.
I
All right.
assume Borman's going out into the main hall here.
Yeah, I'm just going to go on about my way. I don't give a fuck if he's mad. If he didn't like it, he fucking should fight. But me fighting this dude and all that, I mean, quite frankly, all that does is hurt the order. And I owe Mavis more respect than that. So I'm not going to fight him. He can throw his temper tantrum without me.
So coming out of Area 9, which is actually the kitchen area, this door up here opens, and in comes Matriarch Gilda Wobblespell. And she always looks like she's a little pissed off. But this go around, she clearly shows that she is um, pissed, and claps her hands 3 times and looks at the Grand Marshal and says, "What are you doing, sir? These people are our guests." And he says, "My honor has been uh, uh, questioned, and the honor of our paladins have been questioned." She says, "These people helped fight off those berserkers that came in the night to kill us all. Don't be absurd." And she claps her hands again, and she says, "All of you, move these tables and chairs back. I will not have this kind of behavior happening inside of our order."
Sweet. I'm glad she stopped it.
Well, it's not like the guy had a lot to do. I mean, he'd stand around and look menacingly all day. Grr, grr, grr.
True. True.
Quiet thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we're good to go.
Yeah, I guess we should take off at this point.
Yeah.
It's not gonna get any more awkward, so
Right.
let's leave it to peak.
Yeah.
Leave it peak awkwardness.
Yes.
Yeah, we've achieved it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Scotty never even got up. He just kind of scooted his chair back and kept eating his scrambled eggs and bacon. And he looks at the rest of you and he's like, "Oh, I guess we're leaving now." Oh, I was just
Yep.
getting interested in this. And he sets the bowl down. He says, "All right." And he washes it down with some dark beer and picks up his sack or his backpack and leads you guys back out to continue on. And it is late morning. You guys are getting a late start leaving. And so, let me bring up that map.
As we're walking out, Borman will go, our differences don't have to be a problem. They're just an opportunity for both of us to learn something.
Gee.
That's wise words, man.
It
If you-
is. It's just, I don't know. I don't
It's
want to
not
hear it. I know they
not
don't.
total taunt. I'll wait till there's a bunch of people between us. He'll get held back. He'll be calmed down by the time we come back around.
I hope so.
Or dead. This is a violent place.
True.
So you guys are right down here. Each one of these hexes is 12 miles. So you've got quite the journey ahead of you along this black dotted line. This is the northern loop trail. It meets up with the eastern tradeway here. And and so I need to see. Let's see here. New equipment. So a dog sled. Half a mile per hour is possible.
And I don't think we would be rushing for no reason.
Yeah, true. Don't want to miss anything because we don't know where in the mountains this thing is.
Yeah. And we'll be sure and tell our guide, don't think that we just have to necessarily follow the roadway. We are hunting for a lost and ancient artifact. So old ruins and places where once held great power and things might be hidden. Well, that will interest us.
Yes, yes, yes. I can understand that. So you guys actually. Ah, damn. Oops. All the way down here. So in 12 hours, or yeah, in 12 hours, you only get about halfway through um, this hex, and um, you
Mm.
you could, of course, in 12 hours, the sun is starting to set. Scopty recommends setting up camp for the night. Um,
Let's do it.
Yeah,
We
he's the
got,
guide.
yeah, I
yeah,
mean, you could push on. I mean,
To push on to what end, though?
yeah, we'll take our time. I agree. We have plenty of food. We got warm or cold weather equipment. Um,
Well, I mean,
Yep,
I'm thinking,
yeah,
yeah,
sounds
I
really.
think if we push on, you push on for with a destination in mind. Like the storm is coming, and we know that there's caves ahead. But just pushing on to pushing on, I don't feel rushed.
Okay.
Do we?
I don't. Maybe
Yeah,
there's urgency we don't know about, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean
yeah.
you're not. You guys aren't really. You're not
Thing's
being.
been lost for 500 years or something,
All
so
right.
it's not
Are
going to
are
get any
his
more lost.
yeah? Are his dogs trained to bark when things come around at night, or
Yeah, they do. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, they definitely do. But I mean, you're still probably he still recommends setting a watch, and he being the guide, um, he he offers to take first watch
Nice.
if you guys would like
yeah?
to get some rest.
Sure.
Let's sleep.
Let's see here. There are four of you, five of you.
And a bunch of dogs that might hear anything and start barking, or they might start barking at nothing.
Roll some random weather. Oh, so uh, in the middle of the night, a cold breeze once again blows through, and I mean it is uh, summer, so the months between Janau and Agaron, and so this is a very strange um, situation, and this cold snap brings in temperatures between 28 degrees and 32 degrees, and heavy snow starts to fall. Looks like it's going to be about a foot of snow by morning.
Wow.
Okay.
Dang.
Well, I mean, we've got snowshoes and we've got dog sleds, so I mean,
Should be okay, but yes, it's quite a bit of snow.
you know,
Who's taking the final watch?
I guess it's gonna be
Actually,
we'll
well,
we'll say
yeah, yeah.
Mormon.
Who's going to take the final watch?
More.
Mavis will volunteer.
Okay,
All right, Davis. Yeah.
so Mavis, roll a d6.
5.
All right. You are not surprised when off in the distance, as the snow is falling, and you guys are in your heavy tent and kind of bundled up. Mavis is bundled up with her heavy winter clothes. Um, you hear a twig snap,
Hmm.
and looking beyond the campfire light, you can see shadows are moving. That you can discern by the shadows. It is probably those five berserkers that are coming to look for um, revenge.
Oh my gosh, they've not had enough, I guess. They're like covered in bug bites, right?
Right? Yes. Well,
Okay.
they've had time to put calamine lotion on their stings. Um, so what does Mavis want to do?
I don't think I can take 5 dudes by myself, so I probably need to wait my friends up.
Okay, so everybody go ahead and roll initiative.
Borman got 4, and Malachi got 7.
And what did Alora get?
2,
And Mavis?
6.
No. And Scopty got a 3. Here we go again, Scopty. All right, so Mavis yells out, the dogs start barking, and through the forest, or coming out of this forest, you can see these berserkers are immediately, they're practically right on top of you. What does Malachi want to do?
Um, so they're coming up from like the side of the camp, and there's some good distance between us and everything.
No, they're practically right on top of you. They have snuck up. They are well, they are. I will tell you exactly.
Are they? They're kind of grouped together though, right?
They're 30 feet away.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And they're all kind of grouped together there.
Yes.
All right. Well, I have something for this. I will go over. Kind of run right over to the campfire real quick and light my Malachi Witherweed burning ball
Okay.
and throw it with my sling
Okay.
and try to get it over there in the center of them.
Go ahead and
That'll
make a
that'll
sling
be
attack.
yeah. All right. This will be at +1. Nat 20.
Oh, okay. So, on here.
By the power of Dead Skull. It comes from a lot of practice. I used to sling, mushrooms back there at Glonsheim, just slinging everything.
Okay, so yeah, you peg one of them right in the face with this. Go ahead and roll your sling damage. Oh, well, actually,
Okay.
it does max damage. So, it,
4, 5, nope, 4.
so this guy not only takes 4 points of damage right to the forehead, but now they all need to make a save.
Save versus poison.
Yep, or
And,
die.
yeah.
And they fail. So all five of these guys, this guy gets hit in the forehead, and the smoke, of course, starts to rise around them, and they all breathe it and keel over.
Malachi will look around and be like, it's really rude to interrupt our rest like that. And he will go right back into his tent and just lay down. Like, he'll walk out, light it,
Job done.
be like, all right, now, fucking with my rest. God.
Okay, so yeah, that was anticlimactic. Now now it should be noted that with your the rest of your witherweed has probably been divvied up into spell component sizes for your spells.
That's what I was thinking. So I would be able to keep using my normal spell. But I made that ball.
Right,
And I
yeah,
already,
it's been sitting
yeah,
there. So yeah. Yeah, no, you constructed that ball a while ago. So yeah, well done. In
it's
fact,
Way to
now
go.
been removed from my character sheet. Yeah. I'm not big on repeating the same thing over and over again. I always like to try different shit. Medusa head, witherweed ball.
Yeah, you'll figure out more
Yeah.
later.
Scopty, rather than going back to sleep right away, Scopty is going to go out and he tells Mavis that he believes that these berserkers probably have a camp nearby.
Should we try and like destroy them, or should we just
We
roll
should try to
on?
loot their camp.
Oh yeah, they do. They probably have some loot. You're right. Maybe they
Yeah.
have a clue about where the thing is.
So
All right. Does anybody
Scopty,
have? He has tracking, I'm sure, the guy. He can
yes,
probably help us.
he indeed does.
Nice.
Yeah.
And he
Well, like,
succeeds on his tracking check, and indeed he is correct. There is a camp
we're,
here.
we're going to give their dead bodies a wide berth for a little while
Right.
While that, yeah, it's kind of toxic over there.
For real.
Yeah.
Mavis, roll percentage.
Haha.
All right. What I had percent. Oh, I do have percentage. Now. 37.
Ooh. So these guys. These guys, in their camp, they have a bag of 5,000 copper pieces.
Oh God, really? More copper?
Yeah.
We should
I
melt
have.
it down into some kind of vehicle.
Melted down. Yeah, melted down into
Yeah.
ingots, so it's easier to carry.
I mean, but that still fits in the bag of holding, and both of our bag of holdings are relatively empty right now. So I mean,
Oh, okay, we're good.
yeah, most of our stuff is still at Castle Braun, where
You're
we
right.
dropped
Okay,
it off. Yeah,
it's not nearly as bad as I thought it
yeah.
was.
Yeah, you guys spent a chunk of time, you know, lightening your load so that you can
Yeah.
actually make way. But you are able to, of course, complete um, your rest. Actually, also roll a d6. Of course, rather than a d3 because of Alora, roll a d6 for anybody who was injured to get back your hit points.
3.
All right.
And actually, you can roll that twice if you're still down.
6 more. Yeah, everybody's got to be fine at that point.
Yep, I'm fully healed after all that. I mean,
So the next morning, you continue your journey and uh, make it halfway into another hex. This night is fairly quiet. This time, you don't have to worry too much about you're. It's so boring that you you're almost falling asleep during your watch. God damn! But there is another cold snap and another foot of snow falls. So I mean, yeah, the it's a good thing you have the dog sleds, because otherwise you would be trudging through about 2 feet of snow. But
we
the
got snowshoes too.
yeah, so yeah, yeah, the dogs are loving it. Um, a third night, nothing. What does the weather do? So on the third day, the sun comes out, the cold snap goes away, and now the temperatures raise quite a bit. Uh, it is becoming sunny and humid, and as all this snow melts off, and it looks like it's going to be that way for a few days. Um, but the temperatures are now ranging during the day 75 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. So you guys are stripping off your cold weather gear and stashing them. And of course, you can't ride the sleds um, because the snow is all melting. And as the snow melts, you can see that it's actually going down to the bare paving stones of the Eastern Tradeway. And one of the hallmarks, you've noticed this before, one of the hallmarks of the Eastern Tradeway on this side of the Great River, the dwarves paved it with actual marble paving stones. So they built this road to be here forever. Um, what is Borman's movement?
In the woods, I've got normal speed. I'm going with +1 leather and a shield, maybe a bow, maybe a sword.
So, where is my movement chart?
It's not really feasible to travel in plate mail.
Mm, yeah. Here it is. So what is your base movement?
30 feet or whatever.
So you can travel 18 miles a day. What about Mavis?
I have a standard 30 feet for the
Okay, so
encounter.
you guys can move about 18 miles a day, which is
Okay.
honestly, not terrible. You guys make some really great movement forward, and that makes me really think that probably should up the amount of mileage that these dogs can probably move. I would say probably 18 miles a day. So you guys are probably up here. Um, well, here's a good question. Oh yeah, the dogs can move quite a bit better than what I had listed. They can move 36 miles a day. So, but we'll deal with that next time. So you guys make it, and Scopty tells you that where is it? Where is it? There it is. He tells you that um, to keep your voices down, and that this area, he says we are passing by the a tribe of people known as the clan of the Owlbear. They can be a bit skittish, but I have a good rapport with them.
And it would be great if we could trade with them.
I They do sometimes trade with people in the region. Um,
All right. So is he gonna approach them, or are we trying to sneak by?
if you want to try to trade with them, Scopty will, of course, offer to approach. And so you guys kind of come up here, and there is this um, cave. And it, of course, on the map is depicting a ice cave, but it is kind of there are icicles, but they are in the process of melting due
Mm.
to the warm weather. And outside of the cave, you see a uh, a human-like person, almost completely covered in shaggy hair. They're wearing furs. Um, He is holding a very large club, and everybody can roll a d6.
Like every character or both of us.
Every character.
No. Okay.
4 and a 6.
I got a 3 and a 5.
So you you're kind of looking at this guy, and Mavis realizes that this 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 man that you're looking at with the shaggy hair and the furs is um, likely a Neanderthal.
We've got rapport with them, or
And
some of them.
and Scopty taps Borman on the shoulder, and he points to the ground. And in the muddy ground and sections where the snow is in the process of melting, you see that there are um, tracks that are like 2 feet across, and they look like a cross between a bear print and a talon. And he says, "This is the tribe's namesake."
Yeah.
That's
Owl
pretty
bears.
cool.
Yeah.
And so this Neanderthal, he sees you guys, and he, I don't know. Let's see, how is he reacting? He he is interested. He sees Scotty, and he raises a hand, and Scotty raises his hand in return. It's almost like this guy is almost ignoring the fact that you guys are even there. He just seems completely indifferent to your existence. And Scotty comes up to him and starts not I don't want to say speaking with him. There are some guttural type grunts, but a lot of it is Scotty kind of kneels down and draws in the mud and makes hand symbols and motions and is communicating with this guy in a very crude kind of pictograph manner mixed with very crude hand sign language. And the two of them kind of then stand up, and the Neanderthal kind of looks around Scopty's humongous frame and waves to you and turns and goes into the cave.
Are we supposed to follow him?
I guess so.
Yeah, Scotty
Yeah.
says they are willing to trade anything that you may want to give. Uh, you'll have it ready, take it out of the sleds, and bring it with you. The dogs will be fine here.
Oh,
Alright.
I've got all the stuff in my bag of holding. You
Okay.
know,
Okay. So they
I'm trying to get rid of copper pieces.
they lead you in, you follow into this cave, and this is a very you can tell that this cave was probably partially carved out both through geologic processes and glacial movement. And so the inside of this cave is a very dark stone, probably a mix of granite and volcanic rock, um, with a 20-foot high ceiling. And there are stalactites and stalagmites, basically just kind of riddling this entire area, and you kind of have to step around them. And in the middle, there is this large fire that they have built, and so the entire area, it's almost so smoky that it kind of stings the eyes, because there is the smoke, of course, is collecting at the 20-foot tall ceiling, but the entire area is smoke filled. And over this, they have a number of uh, wood racks with um, different slabs of meat. Looks like probably wolf, elk. There are some fish that are hanging there that they are in the process of drying and smoking. And there are so in here there are 5 other Neanderthals in addition to the guy that has led you in. And 3 of these Neanderthals are women that are nursing babies.
Oh,
And Scopty mentions, he says, "Oh, this is a good sign. You may not realize this, but the clan of the Owlbear, they are how you say declining. And it
A-
is good to see that they are having children again."
Ask him if these are the people that came upon the orc camp when we killed all the orcs.
He goes over to the guy, and he kind of you know, and makes some hand motions and draws on the ground, and the the Neanderthal. Gonna be honest, do you guys? And I don't want to sound racist, but they all look the same, even the women. The women are just as hairy as the men. Um, and he turns and he says, "No, no, but they say that there has been rumor on the wind that there was another tribe, but that they are almost entirely died off. They say that their clan here has sent scouts to search for them to try to bolster their clan, but alas, they have not found them."
Well, there was some we saw them, and I'll kind of try to draw a map on the ground of where we are, and I should have a decent idea of the land. Really, we could probably get Jackson to do it, uh, but kind of show them where that orc camp was, and tell them that we saw
Other
other
ones.
other
So
cavemen
so
over
the
there.
the Neanderthal that was guarding the entrance kind of gets excited, and um, he runs over to this entrance here, and excitedly grunts and slaps the rock wall, and out of this entrance, the first thing that you see is this white furred ape, and he is huge. And upon seeing you guys, this ape kind of rears up and beats its chest, kind of in a menacing manner. And Scotty says, "Don't move." He says,
I'll
"Very
listen to
slowly
Scotty.
take a couple of steps back." And behind this ape comes another Neanderthal, and this Neanderthal, he looks much larger than the rest of the males that you are seeing. It appears to you immediately that he may be of a slight genetic difference. Like there is not just a caste system, but he might be more like Cro-Magnon man than Neanderthal. Kind of that halfway in. They're not 100% the same race. And he comes out and he pats the gorilla on the shoulder, and the gorilla or the ape, the white ape, and the white ape kind of leans forward and calms down, and he comes out and um, he's looking at the ground where you have kind of sketched out this map, and he looks at Scopty and makes some hand motions, um, and Scopty says, "This is the chief of the clan of the Owlbear. He wants to know if you are certain that is where you saw these other Neanderthals."
Yes, they started looting the orc camp after we killed all the orcs, and we let them have that. They were in that area.
So
Yep, that's right.
he is very excited. The chief's very excited by this, um, and Scopty kind of pats you on his massive hand, pats you on your back. He says, "You did good, friend. The chief wants to trade and says that we may stay with the clan for the night."
Oh, cool.
Sounds great to me. Do they have any shiny rocks or gems?
Oh, well, I don't. They have interesting things. We can
Okay,
put
And
it that way.
can we draw a picture of the key thing we're looking for and see if they have any idea?
we already have a picture of it.
Yeah, can
We
we
got
show
that
them?
from the
Library, right? Or
yeah.
So, um, the the chief, um, he doesn't necessarily he gets the gist of what you're trying to tell him, and he tells you that essentially through Scopty that the chief doesn't know, but their shaman might,
oh, cool.
and that and the chief kind of waves his hands across over his head towards the ceiling, and Scotty says something about You will have to see Chukra, the tribal shaman. She's likely to send you on a vision journey.
Oh, great. It's time to
We're all
take
going to
some
be high
drugs.
as
So,
balls. So we will pick this up next week at 12 o'clock on Saturday. But before we blitz out,
it's at EXP.
yes. So these guys that you fought weren't worth a ton, but y'all get 420 XP each.
All right.
So I was
That's enough to level up Alora, just barely.
nice, nice.
Cool.
So I was talking with Wes here before we started, and so I have started using new software for making maps for this next book, and the software that I'm using is Dungeon Scroll, and it's really funny that it seems like every time I touch something, this happens. Um, Roll20 and Drive Through RPG purchased Dungeon Scroll. And so Roll20's plan, I got the email yesterday. Their plan is that they are going to integrate Dungeon Scroll directly into Roll20 so that you can draw maps as you're playing. So if you want to randomly roll a dungeon, you can do it and keep it right in the Roll20 app. I am toying with the idea of us going back to Roll20. They have fixed a couple of things. So I don't know. We can discuss it throughout the week. And I mean, our game is still sitting over there in the queue, so it's not a big deal for me to import the maps and whatnot. So that may be coming in the future. So I mean, we've tried out Roll. I like what Roll is doing. I think it's got a little ways to go, though. In my opinion, I don't know how you guys feel about it.
I like the Roll20 better just because I have the dice that roll across the screen.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Uh,
true.
I like the
yeah,
measurement tool. I
the
really
measurement.
miss the measurement tool.
Yeah,
Okay.
that really did help. I'm
Uh,
okay either way though. I'm not like picky, and the game's fun on either thing. So whoever decides, I'm not gonna
Yeah, it
yeah.
just means that we
be
would be
upset.
using Skype. We'd probably be using Skype. I don't know.
Yeah.
We
We
could,
can try because they did. We haven't. We still haven't tested out their new voice system that they
yeah.
implemented. So we could try it.
I'd like to try it with the voice and see if they can just handle the whole thing.
Yeah, it would be nice. The only reason we initially we were originally using it and we stopped because like all of a sudden it just started having massive amounts of problems. But now with the new protocol or new algorithm that they have switched over, we should really try it out and see. So yeah, I'll make a firm decision this week and let you guys know.
All right. Well, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And,
Have a good one, guys. I will see you next week.
all right. Good night.
Have a good night.